How do you say this word? Is it resume or is it resume? These are two separate words and mean entirely different, yet people have been using it interchangeably. So let me just clarify this and then get into explaining the details of a resume. When you use this word in the form of a verb, then the word is pronounced as resume, which means to restart. On the other hand, if you use it in the form of a noun, then the word is pronounced as resume. And what is it? Well, you have to watch the video for this. So I hope for those who have been using these words interchangeably, please make sure that you correct that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again. This is Gitanjali Rathore, Soft Skills and Communications Trainer at Inspiria Knowledge Campus. And today, let's dig into the details of crafting the best resume for oneself. Therefore, I'm going to divide our today's topic into 5 segments. Number 1, we're going to talk about the difference between a CV and a resume. Are these two documents the same? Or these two documents are different? We will find out. The second we will talk about is about the purpose. Now, since the video is all about resume building, so it makes all the sense for us to understand what is the purpose, the objective of a resume. Number 3, let's talk about the usage of action verbs, the significance of it, and the industry keywords. The 4th point would be the sections. These are the important information that must be a part of your resume content and its individual significance. And finally, we will talk about the template. Resume is a French word meaning summary. So, resume is a summary of your skills and achievements, typically not more than 1 page. While on the other hand, curriculum vitae or a CV is an overview of your professional work experiences and your academic performance. Also, it is about your skills. And so, the word curriculum vitae is Latin and it means a course of life. So all of you can imagine how lengthy the document could be if you pen down all the necessary information. The point here is, where do you use the CV and where for you is to use your resume. So resume is best if you are seeking a job opportunity in a private sector. And a CV would be ideal if you are looking in for a job probably in government services, which is a public sector, and in academics. Great. We will now understand the objective of a resume. The objective of a resume is to help you jump out of that crowd, is to help you stand out from the competition. So now that we've understood the difference between a resume and a CV, and we've understood, the purpose of building a resume, we now have to get into finding how to make it attractive, how to make it compelling so the recruiters are drawn towards your resume. First thing first, remember that we have to use the action words. I would like to give you some examples. For instance, you can start your sentences by saying, I initiated, or I accomplished, or I designed, or I led a project. So these are few action verbs which would show that you have achieved or attained something in the past. And these are very catchy phrases. Then we will talk about the industry keywords. These are the buzzwords. You've heard about it, okay? How do you place it? So here I would like to give you an example of, let's say you are applying for a position of an HR professional. So what should be the best keywords that you can put in that would resonate with the job profile? Well, you can talk about, the keywords could be recruitment, it could be retention, it could be employee relation, it could be talent development, and etc. Now that we have covered this, let us just focus on the three things that we've covered right now. Number one is the difference between a CV and a resume. Then we talked about the purpose of a resume, and then we talked about the usage of the industry keywords and the action verbs. Let us now get further details into the section, which is the fourth point. So what are the information that you must state in your resume? First thing first is the header. The header, please remember, oftentimes you must have visited different sites where you would find documents with the title written as resume or a CV or a biodata. Now that should not be followed suit. This header should be empty. You will not write down resume. For instance, if I go for an interview, I will not write down my name Gitanjali anywhere except on my document. So similarly, the header should follow these informations, and please listen to me careful. Number one is your full name, Gitanjali Rathore. Number two is your mailing address. This mailing address is the address where you reside. So instance, if you are living or residing in Kolkata or in Delhi or probably in Bangalore, so your mailing address has to be from that place and not from the place of your origin, because you could be from any other place. Okay, and in doing so, never forget the postcode or the pin code. That is a must. Then comes your contact number, which could be your landline number or could be a mobile number. But in doing so, what you have to keep in mind is the fact that you do mention the ISD and the STD code, which people don't do that. And then you must always make sure that you place your email address. One thing important for all of you to understand here is that please make sure that you try and put in your first name and your last name in some form so that your email address gets recognized, and never use any sort of fancy email address such as ironman@so-and-so or maybe a catwoman at the so-and-so. Now that's definitely not acceptable at all. Then we talk about the URL. In case if you have a professional website or maybe a portfolio of your own, your LinkedIn profile, make sure you put in the URL. That will consist of your header. Now let's just quickly move into the statement of purpose, which is called your professional summary or your objective. Remember that this is a stage which will play a pertinent point in grasping the attention of the recruiter. So here it is important for you to state which job profile you're applying for, and then followed by your most relevant skills, your achievements and accomplishment. I would like to give an example for that. It will help you. So the bad example would be if you start a statement by saying that I am seeking or I'm looking forward to getting a job where I could utilize my certain skills. Now that's what you are trying to say, is that you give me a job and I would like to get an in-hand experience from there. Now that's not a good start. Rather, a good start would be where you now use the action verb. So how do you do it? So you start by saying that I am a dependable teacher with consistency in productivity and attendance, and then you add on the rest of the sentences. So what you're doing is you're making it catchy, and at the same time the action verbs are giving it all that due importance that you are supposed to receive through your keywords. Then we come down to your educational qualification. Your educational qualification could be your, the school or the college level qualification that you have received. It could also be your accomplishments or an accolade that you have received in the field of academics. Now this is a sure shot way of gaining an attention of the recruiting manager, because it is at this point that will play a vital role in giving the due importance to your application. So always make sure that you put it in a chronological order. The highest your academic qualification will be at the top, followed by the rest. So let's say, for example, if you are a graduate, so you could probably start with BA, your college degree, or BSc, followed by your class 12th level and equivalent, and then class 10th and its equivalent. The question here is, do you want to mention your percentage, your score or grade? thought to think about, right? Yes. So take my word for this. If it is a case where it is on a higher scale, your percentage, your score, make sure that you do mention it. Why? Because it is one way of showcasing that you're an intelligent person and that you're a hardworking person. Your percentage will reflect that. On the other hand, for those who have a percentage which is an average or maybe low, then I would suggest please not to mention it in your resume, because it will leave a room for the recruiter or the hiring manager to focus into some other aspects in your CV, in your resume, over your educational qualification. So let's do that. Then comes your skills. This would be a combination of both your hard skills and your soft skills. So hard skills are originally, basically you could say these are your technical skills. So an example, if again you want to get into the HR position, then perhaps your technical skills that you should be mentioning would be that you have a knowledge in HR information software or HR recruitment screening software, or that you're good in project management. These could play as your technical skills. And your soft skills, that is your transferable skills, perhaps would be that you are somebody who has an effective communication, or that you are proficient in different languages, or maybe that you are somebody who is a dependable team worker or a team player. So this could work as your skills. And finally, it is about your achievements or your extracurricular activities. This is more helpful to those students who do not have a previous work experience, probably those who are freshers and beginners. So make it a point that you take this as an ideal step to mention your extra co-curricular activities, because it works more as a tangible proof of the work that you have done in the past, even if it is in the school or in the college. So points such as if you could also be more constructive in giving a data or a matrices, then that would add more value. Then if you have done an internship program before, make sure that you do mention it, because it reflects that you are somebody who's already has a hands-on experience on something. For someone who's done a voluntary work, will reflect that you're somebody who has contributed to people and society. Similarly, for those who've ever held a club executive position, make sure you mention that, because it will reflect that you are somebody who has a leadership skills, who are somebody who's good in communication. And also people who have been into sports. There are children who are a part of sports. So what you could do is you can mention that, and it will reflect that you're somebody who has a sportsman spirit, which means that you're somebody who understands collaboration, who understands teamwork. So you see how your co-curricular activities, is affecting your and presenting you through your resume. So do that. And finally, of all the headers that we are talking about, the last point here is the template. Now, what do we do? Two things that you could perfectly do is, be very careful what kind of company or organization you're applying to. If it is more of a conservative organization, then make sure that you keep the most basic template. However, focus should be on the content. Okay, what is it that they will be receiving at their end? On the other hand, if they are more towards a creative end, then probably you could play by making it more vibrant and lively. So you and showcase that you have a talent or something. So I guess we have covered all the important points that is necessary in a resume building. And for those who've listened very carefully to me, can now start getting and drafting your resume, and I'm sure that it will definitely get you into the groove and put you into the spot where you will be your resume will be looked into. So up until the next video is on, we will meet soon. If you have any comments, please do leave for me and I'll get back to you. Thank you.